We're at 3 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome everybody to the Search for Excellence National Committee meeting. Hopefully we'll have a few more folks join in, but if not, it's being recorded. They can go back and listen later. So I first just wanted to say, it's been an honor for me to be able to serve as the Search for Excellence Committee chair for the last 2 terms. And so this is my last year, and enjoyed being able to get to know a lot of different folks across the country and working through this process with the Search for Excellence. Connie, is there anything that you want to say as we get started?
I just want to thank the committee for all the work that they've done throughout the year, and just encourage everybody that's online to provide input as Linda goes through the committee workshop here. All of our members provide valuable information that the committee can use throughout the year. So would really welcome your input, and just want to thank you all for stepping into play. And I plan to just kind of sit back and listen. If there's questions, I can certainly answer them, but this is your show, so I'll turn it over to you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. So we do have couple of our regional vice chairs. We've got Leslie Rose from North Carolina, Southern Region Vice Chair, Anthony Ohms, the North Central Region Vice Chair. David Hanley had a family emergency today, so he's not able to be with us. He's the Northeast Region Vice Chair, and then Ron Patterson is our West Region Vice Chair. So appreciate all the service of our vice chairs on the committee. And certainly all the state chairs are integral to this process. So I'm really happy to see a bunch of y'all join in today. I'm going to just review a little bit from last year's committee report. Mostly we didn't have a lot of recommended changes. We had some goals for this past year, and I think for the most part met those goals in trying to increase our communication with the state chairs, and also emphasize in our communication with the state chairs about the state winners receiving money, and details on what the roles of the state chairs are, and emphasizing about the $50 winner incentive. I know the board is talking about that and probably going to be reconsidering that for the future, but this was last year's report, so just going off of that. And then after this year, we'll be adding one more category to Search for Excellence. The ag awareness or ag appreciation category is going to be adding into Search for Excellence after this year. And for the most part, our application process was pretty smooth. I will say this is probably the fastest and the least amount that I've had to hound the state chairs of any of the years that I've been involved. So I really appreciate the way that the state chairs were prompt in getting their state winners approved. We did still have a few issues with applications. So as state chairs, I would just encourage you to make sure that you thoroughly review the applications and the award applications from your states to make sure that it falls within the criteria that's set forth by the national board. And all of those details are always in the County Agent magazine. They're also always online. And so there's details about how many documents for the applicants to attach, how long their narratives are supposed to be, all of those details, the score sheets there, so you can see how the applications should be broken down. But the key is just helping us at the national level make sure that all those state winner applications fit within the criteria of the national award winners. The other thing, of course, this won't be my problem anymore, but like moving forward, I would just say as state chairs, whoever the next national committee chair is, if you could work to help them on the awards. So, the past few years we've used a Google Sheet, and that has been effective. But the main problem that I've had with that is that we've had members get listed on the spreadsheet that are not NACAA members, and then sometimes we have people that don't get listed that are NACAA members. So I have to go through every application to make sure that we get the certificates correct, and it would really help a lot if the state chairs would increase your involvement in that process and just making sure. So there's a way on the national website for you to search the member database if you're unsure if people that are listed on the application are NACAA members or not. And that would be one thing that would be super helpful as we move forward. This year we had an incredible number of applications. So we had an increase of 75 applications overall across all of the categories. Every category had an increase in the number of applications. So I think that was pretty exciting to see. And I believe we had maybe just 2 states that had applications in every category. I think, yeah, Florida and Kentucky were the 2 states that had applications in every category. So that was exciting. And I'll just run through the numbers really quick. So for 4-H youth development, we had 23 states with 51 applications. Consumer commercial horticulture, we had 13 states with 28 applications. Crop production, we had 13 states with 18 applications. Environmental quality, forestry, and natural resources were our lowest number of entries this year. We had 9 states with 19 applications. Farm and ranch management, we had 11 applications, 11 states from 15 applications from 11 states. I'm sorry. Livestock production, we had 22 states, 38 applications. Sustainable agriculture doubled from last year, actually. So we had 14 states, 15 applications. And then young, beginning and small farmers and ranchers, we had 13 states with 19 applications. So a really good number of applications. Of course, I think the destination is part of that. I think probably maybe the $50 state winner award hopefully helped with that a little bit too. But we did see a pretty good increase in the number of applications. So I appreciate the work that my committee did to help get the judging done. We were finished before the deadline. So I was excited about that because I know there were some folks waiting to decide if they were going to attend the meeting or not until they figured out if they were going to be a winner. So one of the things that we have to do is, as a committee, is just set what our goals are going to be for the upcoming year and plan of work and stuff. So I would just open it up to see if y'all have any recommendations that you would like the board to consider, things in the process that you would like for us to talk about. Any of the vice chairs want to talk?
I thought that we had really good participation this year, so whatever we can do to keep that up, I think would be a great goal.
Any feedback from our state chairs or other folks on the call?
Was anything done differently to motivate for this year? Was that $50 state award winner? Was that a new thing this year? Or do you think it was because, hey, we could go to Montana if we win?
I certainly think Montana's a big part of it. The $50 state winner amount has been in place for a while, but there was a lot of folks that said that they never knew about it. So we just try to do a better job of communicating that this year to let people know that that was part of the process. And so I don't know for sure how much that influenced the decision to apply.
Thanks.
I would say more communication or, Carl Hoppy from North Dakota. More communication, more update of the awards is always helpful. Rather than waiting for the magazine to come out, it leads a pre-notice, a pre-warning, or continued warnings are always helpful. Even to the state chairs, so they get reminders. I mean, we've been around for quite a while, some of us, but we tend to forget what year it is and what time it is.
So do you mean like before the award applications are due?
Yes. Both advertisement there are awards and advertisement that there are reminders, emails that this is coming up and that the deadline is coming close. All those things are important. And sharing who the winners are, I think, helps too. put the line to make people realize that we need to apply, that we can apply for these next year.
Mhm. If y'all wouldn't mind too to put your name and your state in the chat so that I can report who all is in attendance for the workshop.
And I would say when you did send out to award winners that they won, and you copied the state shares, and that I think was very helpful this year. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, we had gotten some feedback, especially after we changed the website, that the state chairs were kind of out of the loop. So I tried to make sure that the state chairs were copied on all of the emails that I sent this year.
Out here in Oregon, we don't have a lot of participation in the Search for Excellence Awards, but I really wanted to just say thank you for our Western Region Chair who sent some great emails, and maybe those came from you, Linda, and kind of passed on down to me as a state chair, but a reminder to encourage membership to participate. And that was great as a reminder to me, but also I could craft that and use that email as a platform and change it up and make it more personal and get it out to our membership. So that was great. That was all before the deadlines, which was really helpful.
Thank you.
And I guess I have one more piece of feedback. When you are reviewing applications, the way that I think it's mostly when people use like Word docs, you usually have to open the website in like a Microsoft Edge browser. A lot of times in Google Chrome, they won't open. So I was finding that I had to remind state chairs about that.
Yeah, one thing that hopefully the national board will consider is, and Scott and I have talked about this, but working on the website a little bit where like it's restricted on the number of documents that people can upload. We know the maximum number of supporting documents is 3. So if the website is just preset for that it would eliminate a little bit of the confusion. Y'all have any feedback about the categories that we have, or if we should consider changing categories, amending them, adding other ones? Might be a really short meeting.
If you're getting that many applications from that many states for all of those, I don't see any reason to discontinue any of those. On the other hand, that's a lot of awards to go through, so I don't know if you really need another one or not.
Right. Yeah. So at the national level, well, I would have to add that number up, but in total we had 203 applications. Of course, we don't see all those at the national level because this, that doesn't weed out the state, who the state winners are. So we're looking at less than 100 applications. In the past we had talked about maybe cutting out some of the categories because, like, for instance, last year, crop production only had 8 applications, environmental quality forestry only had 8, farm and ranch management had 6, and sustainable agriculture had 7. So all 4 of those categories saw an increase, with forestry still being the lowest category. And the rest of them, you know, all the categories saw some increase. So, but that is unique for this year. Some years we've seen like those numbers be consistently low. So, I don't know if Montana is the only reason that we got so many applications, or if there just was a lot more people that decided to take the time, you know, to fill out applications. Perhaps there's a lot of, I know at least in Kentucky, we have a lot of newer agents, maybe people trying to, you know, add stuff to boost their resumes and apply for internal things. So could be part of the reason too.
Um, I have a question about why you would consider removing any of the categories at all. I mean, but does it hurt anything to leave them there and just not have applications to them? I feel like if you started cutting some, then that would exclude some people.
Um, so we have in my time, because I served 2 terms as the Southern Region Vice Chair and now 2 terms as National Chair of this committee. So during the time that I've been on the committee, we have completely eliminated some categories, and we've changed the title of them to make them be more inclusive. Farm and ranch management is one that we changed the title of it to try to get more applications. At one point we had a category for farm safety, but the number of applications just got so low that it didn't really justify the board expense. Because one of the challenges is if we say we had 10 categories and the board, you know, or whoever the host location is, thinks that they've got to have a spot for 10 lunches or luncheons, and then 3 of those end up not having any applications, then that can affect the facilities and the planning purposes. Or if we only ended up having, you know, 2 applications in a category, then, you know, the board is still going to the expense of having the lunch, because only, I think maybe 2 of the categories now have sponsors. It may only be 1. So it used to be a lot different when every category had a sponsor. But as companies have changed and the ag industry's changed, you know, we've lost sponsors over time. So that's part of the reason that we always like have the discussion on, are we where we need to be or not?
I see. Okay, I hadn't thought about that part. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other thoughts or questions that y'all have? Well, if not, I will say, you know, it's been I know Scott has worked really hard working to get all of the award winners and the state winners lunch tickets for the appropriate categories. Due to the location and facility, various factors, board decisions, the number of tickets that we have available for each of these lunches is pretty small. So, you know, there's going to be some folks that probably initially requested a ticket for a lunch that may not end up getting it, because we got to make sure we get all the award winners in there. But I'll just go through and it's in the county agent magazine and stuff too, but on the schedule. So for Monday, June the 30th, we've got 3 lunches. That's 4-H youth development, crop production, and young beginning small farmers and ranchers. And then the remaining 5 categories are on Tuesday, July the 1st. So that schedule is a little bit different too, because where we're condensed, our meeting's a day shorter this year, so the lunch schedules are a little different than normal. But if y'all don't have anything else, I appreciate you joining our committee meeting today. Appreciate the feedback. Those of you who are serving as state chairs, we appreciate all the work and the critical part that you are to helping make all of these programs a success and helping us get these Search for Excellence Award entries in and judged. So thanks for joining today, and thanks again to my regional vice chairs.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Linda.
Linda.
Yeah. Thank you.